Listen closely, chosen one, yes, you. This message finds you at precisely this moment, because the universe conspires in your favor. The divine has marked you, selected you from among billions. Your eyes upon these words is no coincidence, no random happenstance. It is appointment. It is destiny. Something extraordinary stirs in the spiritual realm. The heavens are aligning, cosmic forces gathering, all for the purpose that was written into your soul before time began. Can you feel it? That restlessness in your spirit, that knowing in your bones that you were made for more. The struggles you've endured, the battles that have worn you down, the nights spent questioning your worth, these were not punishments, they were preparation. Every tear, every setback, every moment when you wondered if you'd been forgotten, these were sacred stepping stones leading you to this pivotal moment. Type ready in the comments if you're prepared to receive what heaven has stored up for you. This simple act of faith activates the spiritual frequencies necessary to align your spirit with the divine download that awaits. Do it now, the timing is critical. For too long, you've walked with your head bowed, carrying burdens never meant for your shoulders. You've believed the lies that diminished your light, but the divine sees you clearly, your true essence, your untapped potential, the greatness slumbering within, and now, it calls you to awaken. The world around you may appear unchanged, but unseen forces are already reconstructing your reality. Like tectonic plates shifting beneath the ocean before a wave rises, your breakthrough builds in the spiritual realm before manifesting in the physical. Chosen one, you stand at the threshold. The door before you leads to the life you were born to live, the purpose encoded in your DNA, the destiny that has patiently awaited your arrival. The key to this door isn't found in striving or proving your worth, it's found in recognizing that you've been worthy all along. Something big is about to happen, something that will transform everything you thought you knew about yourself and your place in this world. Stay ready. Chosen one, what you are about to receive is not for the faint of heart. It is for the faithful, for those who have endured the wilderness season without losing sight of the promised land. Look back at your journey, the closed doors, the unexpected detours, the moments when your faith was tested to its limits. None of it was wasted, not a single tear, not a single tear uttered in the dark when you thought no one was listening. The divine has been collecting your tears in sacred vessels, recording your faithfulness in the annals of heaven. And now, the season of harvest approaches. While others see only the barren field, spiritual eyes can perceive the verdant crop just beneath the soil, ready to burst forth in supernatural abundance. Your breakthrough is not coming, it has already been set in motion, like a celestial timepiece counting down to the moment of revelation. When the caterpillar enters the chrysalis, does it understand the transformation that awaits? In the darkness of that cocoon, as its very being is deconstructed and reformed, does it grasp the glory that will emerge? You have been in your chrysalis season, chosen one. The discomfort you've felt, the sense of confinement, the painful reshaping of your identities, are not signs of death, but of imminent rebirth. Share this message with 5 souls who need this divine encouragement. Type transformation to cement your commitment to the process. The spiritual laws of declaration are ancient and powerful when you proclaim your readiness to receive. The heavens respond with acceleration. Consider the diamond, formed only under extreme pressure in the depths of the earth. Without that pressure, without that darkness, the carbon remains ordinary, unremarkable. Your trials have been the necessary pressure to crystallize your purpose, to reveal the unbreakable, luminous spirit within you that cannot be crushed by circumstance. The divine operates outside the constraints of human timing. While you count days and months of waiting, heaven orchestrates convergences of people, resources, and opportunities that will intersect at the perfect moment. Trust the process. What appears as delay is actually divine precision, ensuring that when your moment arrives, every element necessary for sustained success will be in place. Remember the biblical Joseph, who dreamed of greatness only to be sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned. For 13 years, his destiny seemed derailed, his divine promise a cruel mockery. Yet every setback positioned him perfectly for a purpose greater than he could have imagined. What if his moment of elevation had come before his character was prepared to sustain it? What if your breakthrough had arrived before you were ready to steward it? Your enemies have miscalculated. They believed your silence meant defeat, your patience signified weakness. They could not discern that your quietness was not surrender, but the calm concentration of a warrior selecting their moment. The divine has used their opposition to strengthen your resolve, to refine your focus, to eliminate distractions that would have diverted you from your true path. Listen closely. Chosen one, can you hear it? That whisper growing steadily into a roar. It is the sound of ancient barriers crumbling, of generational curses breaking, of limitation itself retreating before the advancing light of your purpose. The obstacles that have defined your boundaries are dissolving even as you receive these words. The doubt that has plagued your mind, that persistent voice questioning if you're worthy, if you're capable, if you're truly called, recognize it for what it is. The desperate final strategy of forces that have already been defeated. Would there be such opposition if your purpose were insignificant? Would there be such resistance if your calling did not threaten to disrupt the status quo? Across the tapestry of human history, every divine movement began with an individual who dared to believe beyond what their eyes could see. Moses before the burning bush, Esther before the king, David before Goliath. They stood at crossroads similar to where you stand now. Moment of decision between retreating into comfortable obscurity or advancing into uncomfortable glory. The mantle being placed upon your shoulders now may feel heavy, may seem too significant for someone with your history, your flaws, your ordinary beginnings. But greatness has never been reserved for the perfect. It has always been the territory of the willing, the available, the courageous enough to say yes, when every logical reason suggests saying no. Look for the signs already appearing in your life: unexpected connections, recurring themes, dreams that wake you with their vividness. The divine speaks in patterns for those attentive enough to notice. Your intuition, that knowing that transcends rational explanation, has been divinely heightened for this season. Trust it, follow it. It guides you toward the epicenter of your purpose. The clock strikes a divine hour. The heavenly ledgers record this moment as the point of transition, the holy threshold between who you have been and who you are becoming. Step forward, chosen one. Your moment of divine manifestation has arrived, and nothing, no person, no circumstance, no limitation of the past can prevent what the divine has ordained for your life. Your readiness activates your receiving. Your belief accelerates your becoming. Your surrender secures your success. Stay ready, chosen one. The divine convergence you've prayed for approaches with unstoppable momentum. Chosen one, there exists a spiritual principle largely forgotten in this age of instant gratification: divine acceleration. When heaven decides the moment has come, decades of preparation culminate in seconds of transformation. Lifetimes of prayers answered in a single divine moment. Generational promises fulfilled through one act of obedience. The universe bends toward justice, but it also bends toward purpose. Your purpose. The cosmic forces that hold planets in orbit and stars in their courses are the same forces now aligning circumstances in your favor. What seems impossible by human calculation becomes inevitable by divine decree. The mathematics of heaven operate on different principles than the limited equations of earth. Type accelerate in the comments if you're ready for divine speed to overtake your circumstances. This declaration pierces the veil between dimensions, authorizing angelic assistance to clear obstacles from your path. The spiritual realm responds to faith-filled words spoken with conviction and expectation. Consider how water transforms from liquid to vapor in an instant when the right temperature is reached. There is no gradual transition, no halfway state. One moment it occupies one form, the next moment another. Your breakthrough follows this pattern. Though it appears nothing changes day after day, in reality, the spiritual temperature rises steadily until the precise moment of transformation arrives, and what seemed immovable suddenly dissipates. The enemy has studied your patterns, observed your weaknesses, catalogued your failures, and constructed elaborate strategies to keep you contained within the prison of your past. But what the enemy failed to perceive was the divine hand silently strengthening you through every trial, developing spiritual muscles that will now empower you to shatter those very chains that were meant to bind you permanently. Your wilderness has not been a detour, it has been the fastest route to your destiny. Every giant you faced has deposited its strength into your spirit once defeated. Every fire you've endured has burned away what could not survive where you're going. The divine economy wastes nothing, not pain, not disappointment, not rejection. All becomes transformed into fuel for your purpose. Hear this truth: the exact qualities that have made your journey difficult are the same qualities essential for your calling. Your sensitivity that brought such pain will allow you to perceive what others miss. Your intensity that created friction will generate the necessary force to break through established barriers. Your nonconformity that led to rejection will enable you to pioneer paths where none existed before. The ancients understood a principle largely forgotten. Favor is not fairly distributed. Divine selection has never been democratic. From Abraham to Moses to David to Paul, heaven has always chosen specific vessels for specific purposes at specific times. This truth offends human sensibility, challenges our notions of fairness, yet it remains. You have been marked for a purpose that transcends ordinary expectation. Look at your hands, these ordinary hands, these human hands. Do you understand what they're destined to accomplish? The divine sees them rebuilding what has been destroyed, restoring what has been corrupted, reshaping what has been distorted. Through these hands will flow authority that reconfigures reality according to heaven's blueprint. The doubt that confronts you now is proportional to the destiny that awaits you. Would the enemy waste resources opposing someone of no consequence? Would spiritual forces mobilize against a purpose of little significance? The magnitude of the resistance reveals the magnitude of your calling. Take courage in this paradoxical evidence. When Moses stood before the burning bush, his first response was not celebration but resistance. "Who am I?" he asked, measuring his inadequacy against the immensity of the assignment. The divine did not answer with reassurances about Moses' qualifications, but with the only guarantee that matters: "I will be with you." This same promise extends to you, chosen one. Your adequacy has never been the foundation of your calling. Throughout human history, divine purposes have often remained hidden in plain sight, unfolding through ordinary lives in unremarkable places. Consider how the pivot points of spiritual history occurred, not in palaces or centers of power, but in mangers and carpenters' shops, fishing boats and prison cells. Your seemingly ordinary existence conceals a divine significance invisible to the untrained eye, but unmistakable in the spiritual realm. The coming shift in your circumstances will arrive with such supernatural coordination that coincidence becomes an insufficient explanation. Doors will open without your pushing, resources will appear without your striving, connections will form without your networking. Divine orchestration supersedes human manipulation, producing results that defy logical explanation. Spiritual intuition that knowing in your spirit has been whispering of this approaching season. Dreams increasing in frequency and vividity. Signs appearing with unmistakable clarity. These are not manifestations of wishful thinking, but divine communication breaking through the static of everyday consciousness, preparing you for imminent transformation. Let the skeptics doubt. Let the cynics question. Let the critics analyze from the safety of their intellectual fortresses. Their permission has never been the prerequisite for your purpose. Their understanding has never been required for your advancement. What heaven initiates, no earthly opinion can invalidate. The divine operates on exponential principles. What begins imperceptibly grows at an ever-accelerating rate, until suddenly, what was invisible dominates the landscape. Your breakthrough follows this pattern that tipping point approaches, after which change will occur not incrementally but exponentially, leaving even you astonished at the pace of transformation. Chosen one, heaven's spotlight now turns toward you. The divine director cues your entrance. The cosmic audience falls silent in anticipation. Step onto the stage of your destiny with holy confidence, not in your abilities, but in the divine purpose that called you before time began and sustains you beyond what time can measure. The moment of divine acceleration has arrived. Chosen one, what approaches now is not merely a blessing, but a convergence of divine alignment, where preparation meets opportunity, where spiritual inheritance collides with earthly circumstance, where heavenly design intersects with human destiny. The ancient texts speak of appointed times, of seasons when the veil between dimensions thins, allowing greater flow between the spiritual and physical realms. This is such a time. The prayers of ancestors long departed, who petitioned heaven on behalf of generations yet unborn. These spiritual investments are maturing now, their compound interest about to be released into your life with supernatural force. Generational blessings, dormant but not dead, stir to life at the sound of your awakened purpose. Divine convergence reconnects you with spiritual inheritances your bloodline never claimed, assignments left unfulfilled, anointings that have awaited the right vessel. Type converge in the comments to position yourself at this critical intersection. This declaration serves as spiritual coordinates, enabling heaven to locate you precisely at this pivotal moment in cosmic history. The forces of destiny cannot find those who hide in the shadows of doubt and hesitation. Consider how a river flows encountering obstacles. It does not stop but finds new pathways, gathering momentum from resistance until what appears as a blockage merely becomes the catalyst for greater power. Your journey follows this pattern. What seemed to delay your purpose was actually directing it, forcing development of strengths you would have otherwise neglected, carving channels that will now carry your influence to unexpected places. The opposition you faced was never evidence of abandonment, but confirmation of appointment. In the spiritual economy, the enemy does not waste resources opposing the irrelevant. Every attack has been an unknowing investment in your development. Every spiritual battle unwittingly strengthening muscles essential for the weight of glory about to rest upon your shoulders. Divine wisdom often appears as foolishness to earthly understanding. Noah built an ark beneath cloudless skies. Abraham journeyed toward an unseen homeland. Moses confronted an empire with only a shepherd's staff. Their actions defied conventional logic, yet aligned perfectly with heaven's strategy. Your path has seemed similarly nonsensical to observers' inexplicable detours, puzzling delays, bewildering challenges, yet every step followed a blueprint visible only from eternal perspective. Lean in and hear this truth. Your perceived ordinariness has been your greatest protection during the preparation phase. Had your true spiritual identity been widely recognized, forces of opposition would have mobilized against you prematurely. Your obscurity was not rejection but divine camouflage, concealing you until the moment of revelation. Now that covering lifts, allowing your light to emerge with timing that confounds the enemy's calculations. Throughout human history, the divine has specialized in unlikely vessels, shepherds becoming kings, fishermen becoming apostles, tax collectors becoming evangelists. The pattern remains consistent. Heaven selects those whom earth ignores, invests in those society dismisses, and entrusts global impact to those considered incapable of local influence. Your story embodies this same paradoxical principle. The waiting has been the hardest part, hasn't it, chosen one? The silence, stretching into years, the promises seemingly suspended in spiritual amber, neither fulfilled nor revoked. But understand this, divine timing factors in elements beyond human awareness, cosmic alignments, generational transitions, spiritual permissions. What appeared as divine hesitation was actually meticulous orchestration of countless moving pieces. Look around with spiritual perception. Can you sense the subtle shift in atmosphere? The resistance that once pressed against you now begins to propel you forward. Relationships that seemed permanent fixtures in your life mysteriously dissolve. While unexpected connections form with supernatural synchronicity, resources previously withheld suddenly become accessible. These are not coincidences, but coordinates marking the path of divine convergence. The impossible burden you've carried, that responsibility never designed for human shoulders, that pain too complex for human solutions, that longing too profound for earthly fulfillment, was actually preparation for partnership with divine power. Without that weight, you would never have developed the spiritual strength necessary for your assignment. Without that inadequacy, you would never have discovered the sufficiency that transcends human capacity. Your hunger for purpose, your thirst for significance, these spiritual appetites were placed within you by design, not to torment but to guide you toward your divine assignment. Like internal homing devices, they have kept you dissatisfied with lesser pursuits, prevented you from settling in comfortable harbors, not designated as your final destination. What felt like restlessness was actually alignment. Your spirit, recognizing what your mind could not yet comprehend. When Moses stretched his staff over the Red Sea, did he understand the physics of water displacement? When David faced Goliath, did he calculate the precise velocity needed for his stone? When Esther approached the king, did she foresee the full geopolitical implications of her courage? Divine assignments rarely come with complete understanding. They require faith that transcends comprehension, obedience that precedes explanation. The spiritual laws that govern reality remain constant, regardless of human awareness or belief. Gravity functions, whether recognized or denied. Similarly, the principles of divine purpose unfold according to eternal design, rather than contemporary opinion. Your breakthrough is not contingent upon popular vote or cultural endorsement, it answers to higher authority. Chosen one, heaven now initiates countdown. The divine convergence approaches with unstoppable momentum. What was prophesied in whispers will be proclaimed with thunder. What was hidden in shadows emerges into blinding light. What was questioned by many will be confirmed beyond doubt. Position yourself at the epicenter of this cosmic moment. The hour of divine manifestation strikes now. Chosen one, the moment of culmination arrives. The spiritual atmosphere crackles with expectancy. Heavenly realms lean toward earth, and angelic watchers position themselves to witness what unfolds next. Divine manifestation, the moment when spiritual reality breaks through into physical experience, when the invisible becomes visible, when promise crystallizes into tangible form stands at your threshold. This is the crescendo toward which your entire journey has built. Every tear shed in secret, every prayer offered in darkness, every act of faithfulness when giving up seemed more reasonably, have been essential threads in the tapestry of your purpose, now revealing its intricate design. The seemingly random patterns of your life converge into a masterpiece of divine intention that leaves you breathless with its perfection. Type manifest in the comments to activate the final seal of spiritual authorization. This declaration serves as your signature on the cosmic document that releases your inheritance. Heaven has awaited your conscious participation, your deliberate alignment with what has already been established in realms beyond human perception. The ancient spiritual principle remains. Death precedes resurrection. The seed must be buried before it can produce harvest. The caterpillar must surrender to dissolution before emerging as butterfly. Your divine manifestation follows this universal pattern. What appeared as endings were actually beginnings. What felt like loss was actually release. What seemed like rejection was actually redirection toward something far greater than what you were leaving behind. Consider the birth of a star: tremendous pressure, unfathomable heat, cosmic forces colliding in spectacular fashion, until suddenly, light where there was no light, energy where there was no energy, a new celestial body announcing its presence to the universe. Your emergence follows this same pattern. The pressure was necessary. The heat was purposeful. The colliding circumstances were divinely orchestrated to produce in you what could not be formed any other way. The obstacles that once seemed insurmountable now reveal their true nature. They were never barriers but thresholds. Never meant to block your progress, but to mark significant transitions in your journey. Each one conquered has deposited its strength into your spirit. You now stand as a spiritual composite of every challenge overcome, every mountain scaled, every valley traversed. Chosen one, understand this profound truth. Throughout your darkest seasons, when divine presence seemed most absent, heaven was actually closest working, most intimately, most intricately, in the deepest parts of your being. Like a master sculptor who requires closest proximity to carve the most delicate features, the divine drew near during your pain, breathing purpose into places visible to no human eye. The spiritual laws of manifestation operate with mathematical precision. What has been planted must produce harvest. What has been decreed must manifest. What has been promised must be fulfilled. These principles function regardless of circumstance, transcending economic conditions, political climates, cultural limitations, and temporal constraints. Your breakthrough does not answer to earthly systems but to heavenly mandates. Throughout sacred history, divine manifestation has followed a consistent pattern. It arrives suddenly after prolonged preparation. It exceeds human expectation while fulfilling divine intention, and it accomplishes in moments what human effort could not produce in decades. Your manifestation follows this same timeline, surprising even you with its scope and suddenness when it appears. Look beyond physical sight, chosen one. The invisible realms teem with activity centered around your destiny. Angelic forces position themselves strategically. Heavenly resources mobilize with supernatural coordination. Spiritual gifts activate within you, some dormant since birth, awaiting this precise moment. The convergence reaches critical mass, the spiritual chain reaction begins, and manifestation becomes inevitable. The doubt that has haunted youth, that persistent voice questioning if you heard correctly, if you understood properly, if you've been following illusion rather than divine direction, recognize it for what it is. The final desperate strategy of forces already defeated. Would such opposition continue if your breakthrough were not imminent? Would such resistance persist if your purpose were not about to manifest? Your journey has never been merely personal but representational. Through you, divine principles will be demonstrated. Through your story, spiritual truths will be validated. Through your breakthrough, hope will be restored to countless others who watch from the shadows of their own wilderness, wondering if transformation remains possible. Your manifestation carries significance far beyond your individual experience. The divine operates through human vessels, but never depends on human perfection. Moses stuttered, David failed, Peter denied, Paul persecuted. Yet through these flawed instruments, the divine accomplished purposes that echo through eternity. Your imperfections have never disqualified youth, they have merely provided opportunities for divine power to display itself more dramatically through unlikely means. The spiritual inheritance awaiting you has been guarded through generations, preserved through centuries, protected through millennia, waiting for this moment, this convergence, this divine appointment between your readiness and heaven's release. What could not be entrusted to previous generations now transfers to you with full spiritual authorization, not because of superior worthiness but because of divine timing. Chosen one, the final countdown concludes. The spiritual atmosphere shifts definitively. What has been forming in invisible realms manifests in visible reality. The glory that the ancients glimpsed partially, you will experience fully. The purposes prophets foresaw dimly, you will walk in clearly. The power apostles wielded occasionally, you will operate in continuously. The divine manifestation transcends what human language can articulate or human expectation can anticipate. Step fully now into your divine assignment. The hesitation ends, the preparation concludes, the manifestation begins. Heaven watches, earth awaits, history holds its breath. The chosen one arises,